Good morning, millennials.
Welcome back to the toast and happy Wednesday. Yeah.
Wednesday. Oh my God, Claudia, this week has me in a tizzy.
Okay, it's hump day, and it's also the final hump day I will be spending in these four walls. Just wanted to honor it. With each day that passes, I can't fucking wait to get out of here. I got locked in the lobby yesterday, and the air conditioning isn't on. I mean, the heat isn't on. It's 13 degrees. Like, get me out of here.
Well, I hope that you hump a studio that you love that's been so good to you.
Yeah, I do plan on going to the new studio and just like starting humping all the furniture.
Isn't that like a TikTok trend where you like get on the furniture?
Actually, yeah. I don't know if I would say humping. Oh my God. Also, I have been spending time on Reels to try and
curate the algorithm you wish to see in the world.
Exactly. And I ended up on this girl's page, Jack. Because one of her videos targeted me, and I obviously wasn't the only one who got targeted because the comments were like, how did I get here? And I want to say she's like Scandinavian. She started like a sexual wellness company, like basically like a sex toy company, but like her toy, she created a new toy. Because, you know, I feel like the toys.
Oh.
Her toy is a pillow humping saddle.
For a dog?
No. For a dog.
Who humps pillows?
For a human. Yes, dogs do. I guess, I mean, your dog could use it. She says it's ribbed for your pleasure, but it's for humans. And then I literally, like, I had to know more about this girl. I watched every single one of her videos. So now she's taking over my whole Instagram For You page. Oh my God. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Like, she's honestly an entrepreneur. Like, her product is sold out.
Can you explain, if it's not for dogs, it's just a pillow that you hump?
No. Okay, it's a saddle that you like wrap around your pillow if you want to hump your pillow.
Oh, it turns your pillow into something that you would want to hump, like a
it gives it like texture.
Parts.
It gives it because it's literally a saddle, like in terms of shape, like a horse.
Okay,
so you can literally sit on it.
It's not a pocket vagina. It's not a flashlight.
But it's for women. It's for. Am I doing a bad job of explaining this, or are you dumb? Okay. It's not a flashlight. It's for women.
And it's not just like something you wrap around your pillow with a dildo coming off.
No. So it's more so like friction based, if that makes sense.
I understand. It's a surface.
It's a surface.
She's kind of reinvented the wheel here. It's a new, totally new invention.
What she was saying was that like pillows can be shapeless and like sort of make it difficult to find a good position. So she created a saddle that you literally wrap around your. Let me tell you, Jackie, I was howling in the comments. Like, I don't know how I got here. And like Reels is obviously trying to understand me because I'm getting a lot of also like surgical videos, like, you know, how to remove a specific type of cyst. Like, I don't know why I need to know that.
Okay, but you do like a version of that, like a pimple popping.
Oh no, but this is like a med school type of thing.
They're feeling you out. They're saying, how far does she want to go with this? Does she want cysts?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Reel it back in.
Reel it back in. So
real
that's
people
what I
are
did
real
last
people.
Night. I actually don't know if that's true. Based on my research thus far, I don't know if I would say real people. Real people are real people.
Okay, but I feel like it's too soon to call it. So that's your initial assessment.
All's that to say, happy hump day.
Happy hump day. I actually made a discovery last night that I just want to share with you to just put a pin on a conversation that we had on Patreon.
Okay, Columbus.
Literally Columbus myself, because remember how I said on Patreon, if you were listening to me, but maybe this will help someone out there, that my that my skin is redder and worse than it ever is. Yeah, and I'm someone who has like red skin. I always just get redness, and that's something that's just a part of being me, but it's been worse than ever. And I was like, I wonder why that is. And I've been trying to like self-assess. I don't really do that many things like differently on a day-to-day, but I realized what I was doing differently. That's the reason for the season, because I Googled it and it confirmed my hypothesis. I started taking turmeric ever since your husband was here, and he left his bottle of turmeric, and he said it's good for inflammation. And I've been taking it like once a day. And then
You're allergic.
Like, no, it can cause like dermatitis, skin issues. So it just, it's causing that for me. So I'm going to stop taking it, of course. So if you were having redness and just started taking turmeric in the new year because your brother-in-law brought it over, now you know.
We might have to cut this out because I don't know if we can actually let Ben know that you listen to like one of his like Eastern. Ben is very
Claudia,
into like Chinese.
I think it's actually better this way because it's like, look, I listened to
tried.
you and my face almost fell off.
Yeah. But I just don't want him to know like he has any power over us.
No, he does.
And that when he talks, like we're actually listening.
He said the key word, which is inflammation, which really is one of the bingo words, don't you find?
Of the year.
Like everyone's talking about inflammation. I also associate inflammation with bloating. So I'm like, let me take my de-bloat pills and they're going to turn my skin red.
When I think of inflammation, one thing about me, I actually don't think about inflammation and I don't want to. I'm feeling really good about that.
Everyone's talking about inflammation. Don't you find like all the
I feel like everyone's talking about like their gut
microbiome, inflammation, metabolic health.
I haven't ended up on that for you, Paige.
You haven't met those siblings?
No.
Casey and Callie Means?
I'm not familiar.
You've definitely seen her. She was just on Kristin Cavallari. I don't know if Reels has targeted you for that yet.
No.
She talks a lot about metabolic health, and it all comes back. Like everything that's going wrong in everyone at all times has to do with your metabolic health being out of whack. So
there's just like a new part of the body that like people discover on the internet like every 2 years, and they say, well, cortisol. I'm on cortisol. Do you know cortisol?
I know
Jackie, if you're fat, if you're ugly and you're unhappy, it's because your cortisol levels are low. Like, did you not know that?
And we're also taking cortisol, but you could just take it and bring it back, right?
Oh, I don't know.
I think people take
cortisol.
I think people are taking cortisol.
So that's what I'm saying. There's always like a newfangled like part of your body where it's like, that's literally where all your problems come from. It's inflammation.
No, and this isn't an ad, but it does make me want to do the new Skinny Confidential beauty water. This is not an ad, even though like she's our boss, because it has like 3 different things in it that I'm trying to get into my everyday: colostrum, electrolytes, and then like pearl. And I think that's the cortisol.
Pearl. What's it from? I don't know. Earl. Somebody help me. Wait, Ben would now. Let me just send him a
This is like an amalgamation of all of the different reels that I see from the wellness podcasts that I'm interested in, but like don't listen to the whole thing of.
Earl.
It's something that you watch with Ben. Is it from
or Margot.
Covenant? What did you just watch? Coventry?
Covenant. What did I just watch? Thank you.
Is it from Conclave?
Margot, what is this from? Pearl. Earl. One of them will know.
Is it from...
What would somebody be saying pearl? SpongeBob?
No, maybe SpongeBob.
But it's not. Pearl. Earl. Watch, I'm like actually making it up. That's so me.
Yeah.
There was a trend on TikTok like last week.
So I guess that's your wellness recap.
That's your Reels recap. I'm back to TikTok. There was a trend on TikTok last night. It's like when you say you're a Miley Cyrus fan, so they expect you to play Flowers, but you play this instead.
I follow enough Hannah Montana archive accounts on X that I've seen all this.
So I, like 2 weekends ago, spent a lot of time in the car and I listened to Breakout, and this is Miley Cyrus. Like, and her music, this is not a slight to her current music, but it is literally the best music she ever made. Like those 2 albums, I forgot, and it's crazy how you literally know the words to songs you haven't heard in like 18 years. Those 2 albums are actually works of art. And those are not Disney, are they? They were like,
no, that's Disney. Breakout is Disney. And then Hannah Montana and Meet Miley Cyrus, that's Disney.
And I guess the driveway will be the end. Did we have this conversation already?
Not about Driveway, but I feel like the first album that maybe she was still under her Disney contract, but she wasn't being Hannah anymore, was Can't Be Tamed.
It's from Friends. Thank you.
I should have known.
It's Phoebe.
Anything that you reference that I don't know is either Conclave or Friends.
Conclave. What can I possibly reference from Conclave? You're so annoying.
Your new favorite movie, Conclave.
I actually talked about it all day yesterday. It was seriously the craziest movie I'd ever seen.
You said that about the last movie, The Substance.
That really was the craziest movie I'd ever seen. But like when Josh told Ben to watch it, like, yeah, like I understood why.
He was right for that?
Yeah, it's a movie. Like I can't stop talking about it. That's what a film is supposed to do. That's what I said about The Substance. Like, was it good? Like, kind of. Did it make me think and feel? Yes. And that's important.
That is important. That's like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, which we're going to recap at the end of the show, which both Claudia and I watched last night.
Did you feel something?
Anger, frustration, confusion.
I felt like actually annoyed.
Yeah.
At Kyle.
Yeah. And we'll get into it. I feel like there's a lot also like offline. And it's also like nothing like major is happening. It's a lot of like subtext, don't you find? Mm-hmm. Like even that one bit about like she meant production. Ooh, they show us the cameras. Like, ooh, what?
When Garcelle said, I mean, production likes to laugh. Like seriously, that was probably one of the. It was a slay. It was such a slay because it was a good point. Like I feel like if you just say that's like Denise Richards. If you just say bravo, bravo, bravo. If you bring up production, you think that like you kind of get a pass.
No, I was ready to be like,
what? Production can laugh.
I was like, oh yeah, I know she's right. There's things that like she can't repeat because of production. And then Garcelle was like, no.
No, that was such a slay. I feel like sometimes in confessionals, housewives like really think that they like ate when they say something and it's actually cringe. That was truly a serve.
Yeah, it was really funny. We will save our recap till the end.
We think.
And other than that, what's new with Turtaloo?
I'm wearing a sweater from Amazon. I am at the phase of my life where like obviously I need bigger clothes. That's just sort of a fact of life. Let's not get deeper than that, you know? And I can't justify spending like a lot of money on it. So my wardrobe is pretty much 100% Amazon these days. I wouldn't have it any other way. Like I know people clown on like clothes from Amazon. If the quality was poor, it's literally not. Like what's different than from this sweater from like a sweater from like the store?
Well, it depends on the store. And then
it's just like, it's so fine.
The ingredients.
So it's not necessarily maternity clothes, although I did place a big purchase order.
As you should.
For maternity clothes. That's just like, it's just become unavoidable at this point.
As it should be, and as you should do. Like, I don't know, like, what you're trying to prove to anyone.
Oh, I actually meant to ask you this because, like, Ben was making fun of me last night because I was, like, laying with my belly out because, like, the waistband was just hurting me. Mm-hmm. And he was like, your stomach is clear. Like, I've never been the type of girl to wear bikinis. Like, the color of my stomach is, like, the color I was born. Mm-hmm. It's never seen the sun. It's like your ass cheeks. It's, like, it's crazy to think about that that's actually what my face could and should look like if I never saw the sun. So I was just, like, you know, looking at my stomach because then Ben was making me feel self-conscious. And, like, tell me if this is like a pregnancy thing or I've never like stared at my stomach. Like it was literally hairy.
Well, you have hair all over your body except for your palms and your feet.
No, I know, but like dark black hairs. I literally was like, get me my tweezer, and I went to town.
I feel like people get a hairier belly during pregnancy. I don't recall.
I literally looked like a chimpanzee. Like
I don't recall having that, but I feel like that's a normal.
But you also have very light hair.
Right. So it's just like peach fuzz. But I feel like where you have that line, the linea.
Yeah, I was familiar with the line from like the belly button to the pussy crack. But like
the linea.
It was kind of all over, you know, kind of like above, around the belly button.
Maybe it's keeping baby warm for the winter.
Not anymore. I tweezed it. I literally was like, get out of here. As if my body hasn't changed enough. Now I have to deal with this.
So. Okay, Turtaloo.
Yeah, so.
Just don't look at anything. Okay.
Well, that's something else. I'm glad you brought it up. Just don't look.
Why? You're taking away your mirror?
No, I looked. Today when I was getting dressed, like I looked.
At?
Everything.
And it's a beautiful miracle. Wouldn't you
say this?
What did she say?
Would I say it's beautiful? No. Was it worse than like what I had been picturing? No.
And it's miraculous.
Of course, it's miraculous.
You just like you're the negative self-talk about like the size and the clothes. Like it's gotta stop because it's miraculous and it's beautiful no matter what you say.
Yes, I know. Okay, how about that? I know. I'm not gonna argue with you, but like, okay, good luck getting me to stop.
I know. It's impossible.
No. Oh, and I don't know if I said this to you or I said it to somebody else about you, but I've been meaning to apologize to you. And like every other bitch in my life who like, you know, I would talk to when they were pregnant or postpartum and they would like complain about their weight or just like their size. Like not even complain, just like remark on it.
Mention it.
And my whole philosophy was like, girl, you are literally growing a baby. Stop. Like I will not hear it. And honestly, like, no, you're valid in your feelings. Keep talking. You are fat. Like, because when people say it to me, it's like, it's beautiful. Like, it is. I'm holding space for two truths. Like, it's beautiful and I feel disgusting. Like, so I feel like anytime a pregnant woman in my life, like, confided in me, I was like, I shut it down. I'm like, stop that right now. You are beautiful. Look at this beautiful child. And it's like, yes. However, if you feel fat,
feel that way.
Valid.
No, but I think also, I think I need to give you a bit of that. One, because like the more you talk about something, like the more you think about something, like the more it just consumes you. So like if you stop those thoughts in their tracks, like you won't feel it all the time. So I think we need to stop those thoughts in their tracks.
Well, I think if I need to stop the thoughts in the track, I have to stop being big. And that's just not going to happen, you know?
No, you need to focus on another element of what your body is doing.
I think I need to start like a side hustle or something just to get my mind off of the changes going on. Honestly, like that's the only thing. When I'm distracted, I don't think about it.
Yeah.
And like when I'm laying around watching Jeopardy, I'm like, damn, My thighs are huge.
Oh my God. Stop.
And actually it's really crazy the way like, cause I've been like overweight my whole life. So like, it's not new to me, but it's like a new type of overweight. And I guess like, it's really like they say like childbearing hips. Like my ass and hips are going wide, whereas like I never used to get big like that. Some people do get, it's much, I think it's, I like it better. Like it's technically like curvy, but really the way in which you grow is different than just like classic weight gain.
Yeah, because it's all expertly designed.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I only just found that out. I was like reading something on Twitter that men don't have hips.
Yeah.
Like, because it's for childbearing.
Right.
That's like so crazy.
No, I feel like I feel like I do that. They might have like hip bones.
Yeah, but like they don't
go
hips.
out. Yeah. Yeah.
Because like they don't need them.
No.
Interesting.
Very interesting, Turtaloo. Now,
I'm really excited to dive in. I don't think I'd ever say these words. I'm really excited to dive into our lead sponsor.
Oh, okay. Because now, without further ado, it is time for the Fast 5 stories that you do need to know.
And the Fast 5 stories are brought to you by The Flip Off on HGTV. We've got something really excited to talk to you about. It's the premiere of HGTV's super buzzy new series, The Flip Off. And trust us, you're not going to want to miss this one. So Christina Hack and Tarek El Moussa, I'm sure you guys know this, but in case you don't, they were married. They're the king and queen of flipping shows, the boom, then boom, divorce. Now, after 10 years of history and drama and new marriages, these exes are ready to face off to prove who's the best flipper around in the flip off. It's Tarek and his new wife, Heather Ray El Moussa, who we know, against Christina, his ex-wife. The goal, to flip a house with the biggest payoff. This is HGTV at its absolute best, but it's not just about the flips. This series serves up stunning transformations, competitive banter, and some deeply raw and at times uncomfortable personal moments. It's not all gloss and glamour. It's gritty, real, and totally captivating. We see Christina and her soon-to-be ex-hubby, Josh Hall, in a really intense exchange on their way to a flip.
Oh my God, I saw that.
It's genuinely awkward. And then Christina spills the tea to Tarek that her marriage is ending. So the drama's real, but let's not forget the heart of the series, which is the transformations. Christina and Heather's design chops and eyes for style really elevate this new series with high designs that you don't see anywhere. Their mastery as real estate experts, flippers, and entrepreneurs is on full display. They've spent years honing their craft, and it shows. Did we mention the guest appearances? Each week, notable celebrities like Amanda Smith from Selling Sunset, Heather Dubrow from Orange County Housewives, Tarek and Christina's moms, and the most surprising, Christina's second husband, Ant Anstead, will judge competitions to determine the best weekly win. It's going to be epic, so mark your calendars and get ready for the flip-off. It's much-watched TV. The reunion of Tarek and Christina is just the cherry on top. Tune into the premiere Wednesday, January 29th at 8/7 Central and see who wins in the first of its kind competition you don't want to miss. Today's episode is also brought to you by Thrive Market. Raising a family today can feel like navigating a maze of unhealthy options. Between hidden sugars, artificial ingredients, and misleading labels, it's hard to know what's actually good for our kids. And that's why we love Thrive Market. It's like having a personal guide to healthier living for your entire family. So Thrive Market makes it really simple to find trusted, family-friendly brands without spending hours in the store. You can grocery shop online, and when I say grocery shop, like you can get everything from pantry essentials, things for the fridge, condiments, cleaning supplies, pet stuff, kid stuff. From snacks and school lunches to pantry staples, everything they offer is 100% non-GMO. And with their on-site filters, you can shop based on what matters most to your family. So if you're looking for low sugar items, gluten-free items, organic items, high protein items, it's all just a click away. One feature that we personally can't live without is the Healthy Swap scanner in the Thrive Market apps. So let's say you're in a store, you can scan a product that you're used to buying, and then Thrive Market will instantly recommend a cleaner, healthier alternative. For families, it's been a game changer. Plus, their smart cart feature takes the guesswork out of healthy shopping. When you create an account, they ask about your family's needs, and they'll automatically build a cart full of cleaner versions of your favorite brands. You can tweak it before checking out, but it's a great way to get started, especially if you're just trying to slowly phase out junk food. So if you're ready for a junk-free start to 2025, head to thrivemarket.com/thetoast and get 30% off your first order, plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/thetoast, thrivemarket.com/thetoast. Today's episode is also brought to you by Alara Health. 1 in 3 women have a hormonal health condition like PCOS, endometriosis, hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's, yet many women struggle to feel heard or to receive ongoing care to manage these issues. Alara is on a mission to revolutionize women's healthcare by providing expert, science-backed, and non-judgmental care that addresses the root cause of your symptoms so you can finally feel supported and in control. So Alara Health offers virtual, personalized, ongoing medical care to address hormonal conditions like PCOS, endometriosis, perimenopause, Hashimoto's, hypothyroidism, and more. So whether you already have a diagnosis or you need answers for symptoms that you're experiencing like fatigue, irregular periods, fertility changes, pelvic pain, acne, weight gain, unwanted body hair, Alara provides care from women's health experts to uncover the root cause. I feel like women know their bodies better than anyone. And so if you're experiencing symptoms like that are related to like a women's issue, it can be really hard to get a diagnosis. And I know once you get a diagnosis, it's like the biggest relief, but then actually finding how to treat it is like a whole other battle. So through comprehensive hormone testing, ongoing medical expert care, nutritional support, and tailored treatment plans, including medications when needed, Alara helps you feel your best and manage your symptoms and conditions. So take control of your hormonal health with Alara today and get 25% off your first month of personalized expert care by visiting alarahealth.com/toast today. Alara is redefining women's health with expert care for your unique journey. So get started with Alara Health's Compassion First Expert Care today with 25% off your first month when you go to alarahealth.com/toast. That's ALLARA health.com/toast to enjoy 25% off your first month right now.
Thank you, Turtle.
You're welcome.
Our first story is actually a really crazy update in the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively, It Ends With Us saga.
It's not even a crazy update. It is seriously but clenchingly painful to see.
So Justin Baldoni's team has teased a website launch with Blake Lively correspondence after releasing a behind-the-scenes video from the set of the movie. So Justin Baldoni's team released a video that was like an uncut footage.
It was about 10 minutes long.
From one of their scenes in the movie, and they also teased the launch of a new...
And this is a scene that Blake had referenced in her complaint. So they're like, oh, you want to see this? Here it is.
But they also teased the launch of a new website meant to directly squash her claims. They said Justin and team have the right to defend themselves with the truth. This is what we will be continuing to show with the upcoming website containing all correspondence as well as relevant videos. So the video that they show has like a lot of dialogue where they're talking, and I didn't see the movie, but in the background, like they're winning the Stanley Cup, but the two of them are talking. So like, are we just watching them like talk and flirt?
Yeah, it's a part of like a montage of them like falling in love. It's just like all slow-mo. It's all mute. There's a song playing over it. So that's why they're talking about, they're talking during the scene. They're like, do we need to talk? Their voices are not, they're not even mic'd. Like their voices are not a part of this particular scene.
But they're also like talking and a little bit disagreeing about like random stuff and smiling at each other. So it actually
and kissing.
So the way that it comes off, it feels like they're flirting and they're talking about like their spouses because they're like having disagreements about like how you are in love with your partner. Blake is saying, well, Ryan and I, we love to talk. You know, there's not enough time in the day to talk. So when we get together, we're just talking. And
Justin's like, oh, me and Emily, we just like to stare into each other's eyes for minutes at a time.
But he's smiling and looking at her lovingly. It is the weirdest.
And like nuzzling her neck.
It is the weirdest thing to watch. Then they have to like, you know, bump noses, kissing, and then
Jenny Slate catches a stray bullet.
Jenny Slate catches a stray bullet because Blake Lively was like, oh my gosh, your nose is so big.
That's actually, no, that's not what she said. Because everyone's like diagnosing, because the nose thing like was weird. So they're like bumping heads and it's like, it's gonna look cute, but in the moment they're like acknowledging like this is a weird thing for two people to doing. She's like, oh my God, this is like so nosy.
Yeah.
It's just like nose. And he's like, yeah, I know, and my nose is huge. And she's like, yeah, it is. And then he's like, well, that's why we hired Jenny Slate. Like she also has a big nose. It's like, okay, objection. Relevance?
So,
and like people, okay, sorry, continue.
He throws in Jenny Slate, which like does sound random, but then I saw like someone had argued that because she plays his sister in the movie, so it was just like throwing in how it's like a big nose set.
We're a big nose family.
Yeah, we're a big nose family. So like I can let that go. So
no, the thing is, this video is so subjective. Like
because he's using it to prove his claims, and there was even like the thing about the smelling and how she's like saying that she smells bad because of the spray tan. He corroborates that, and then she had said previously, like he said that she smelled bad. So he's presenting it like, look what it is, and then her team is like, yes, exactly, look. So
any woman, her team statement was like, yeah, any woman who's experienced like feeling uncomfortable in the workplace can know like the attempts at making jokes to like lighten it up and like feel. So I think whatever team you've been on up until this point, like you're gonna argue your side because you really can make the case for both. Like you could look at this and be like, yeah, it's like weird, but it's innocuous. It's just like a day at work. But then you could also look at it like through the lens of all this subtext and be like, no, like this is inappropriate. Like you really could argue both sides. So it's not like a complete, in my opinion, serve, although like public opinion has swayed so to Justin's side. And it's so crazy that I would too. Like I care a lot about what people think. And so he so clearly cares about what people think. And he's being like a little obvious about it. Like with the website feels like a little like icky to me. No, like Like a little high school.
Oh, for sure. But like, this is all on the internet now. And like, I feel like for him, like if he doesn't save his good name, like he won't work again. There's not really much else that he can do. Like his whole career like is riding on how this goes for him. Yeah. And for Blake, I feel like whether or not people think she's a mean girl, like she'll work again.
She'll survive.
She has her husband, like she has her family. She's, you know, so I do feel like the stakes are like a little different. Definitely. And that's why he doesn't care if you think that that's a weird move. Like he just wants the people to see how he experienced it. And I still think with all of the stuff that is going to come forward, it's all going to be in like the subtext of how it's read. And it's actually a perfect like
psychological experiment
of human behavior, how like two people can really think that they are right and that they've been wronged, and when you see it from their perspective you see it like that, but when you look at it from the other perspective you see it the other way. I feel like we talk about this all the time, even with Dear Toasters, like, oh, what does the other person have to say?
Right.
So it is sort of interesting. But watching this video, you want to know my takeaway? I never want to see a movie ever again. If this is how it gets made, this was the weirdest thing
it's coming too hard.
This is the weirdest thing I ever saw, and like I don't want to watch stuff like that has to get made this way. It's like
my takeaway, I was actually reminded of a conversation we had on this show a little while ago, was that in order to be an actor, you have to be like a genuine psychopath, like a mentally ill person, because anybody who can sit through what they both just did, like touching noses and kissing while also fighting and like in front of people, seriously, it requires such a level of delusion. I could never.
No, I could never be like holding someone that I don't like, smiling at him, talking like. It's not for me. Are you also?
And I guess like if I would have seen, I think sometimes I'll look at like scenes in movies and think to myself like, oh, that must have been awkward to film. And this just proved it's 30 times worse than I ever imagined it would have been.
I agree. And I'll watch documentaries from now on. Like, I don't want to watch people act if this is reality. What it actually is.
We need just reality TV.
We need just reality TV. Also, have you been seeing the footage from the swing set?
Yes, the footage from the swing set was popping off because they were filming out in public during the time of the movie filming. So not to like fuel any rumors, but just to be like, oh my God, how exciting. Like, look, I can see these people. And now all their videos are resurfacing because you can read lips.
And it looks like they're disagreeing about how to push the swing.
The swing, right. And there genuinely is only one way.
Yeah. What was his issue with how she was doing it?
I don't know. They just, these two people, it was clear they got to a point where they hated each other so fucking much that they were arguing with one another about really inconsequential shit.
No, and it's
like how to push a swing.
It's so weird that he's like the director and you disagree with him, and then you also have to go and kiss him. So I really just think SAG-AFTRA, like, you should not direct movies that you're also in. I feel like it's
complicated.
Very complicated. The swing, yesterday I was at the park pushing the swing and I started to think like, am I doing it the right way? Like,
Jackie, there's only one way.
No, I know, but I couldn't tell like what the problem was. She also like had a lot of hair in her face for like, put your hair up at the playground, okay? First of all.
Let's get to that part of the lawsuit. Like, who did the hair?
And then second of all, it's actually funny when kids are in that bucket swing, they do go towards the
lean
front.
forward.
They lean forward and there it's like Superman. And it doesn't look aesthetically what you think like a baby on a swing should look like. But that's actually how they like to swing.
No, not only that, it looks hella dangerous. You're like, are you about to flop out of this thing? Because you have one of those swings and the kids, when they're smaller, it's like the only one that they can get in. And it's like,
the way that they like to upside down, it's like they like to be upside down, which isn't.
They like to look like they don't have any bones.
It's not picture perfect for a movie. So I feel like she was trying to get the baby to sit up, but that's actually the babies like to be hunched over in there.
Yeah, the bucket swing. That's so true.
So it was just like a losing battle.
At this point in the Blake Lively drama, like I feel like I have genuinely stopped caring. And I think I was really invested for a really long time and felt like I really wanted to defend Blake. And I am going to choose to believe that what she's saying is true, that she felt uncomfortable and but I feel I've also been beaten into submission by the Baldonators.
Wow, and they're going to love to hear this.
Yeah, no, I just I'm not willing to die on this cross. Like, this is not my problem. Like, I'm getting so much hate for my Baldoni takes and it's like, I didn't even make any money off this movie. Like, right. Why am I? So sure, okay, you're all right. Like, please, this one, I've stopped caring.
Wow.
So sure. Because you could really argue, I see really compelling takes on both sides. Like, I do.
Yeah.
But my inclination, like if I had to, gun to my head, I would side with Blake. But I don't want to talk about it anymore because I'm sick of all the hate I'm getting.
Well,
honestly.
I do feel like we're going to be talking about it more and more, especially like with the text. Who knows what's in there? By the way, I know it's like legal now, so the point is like to show the text. I just don't love like airing out text messages on a website, but they're so beyond what is proper at this point. And I just
when they're in a lawsuit, it's different.
Yes, of course.
Like when they're like just put on public display to like get people to, you know, vote in your favor.
Yeah. So but the thing is, I really can see how this went so sideways, how two strong personalities with a very different idea of what they wanted out of this movie on sensitive subjects were clashing. And then things just keep reaching new levels with her husband. And then then all of a sudden, like, you're not my friend, you're my foe, but we're working together. You don't get the same access to me that you even got 3 months ago. So when you think that you have that access, now you're offending me. I could see how things like deteriorated so quickly and got into this mess. And I just think it's really like a shame that it's like this ugly.
No. Also, when you think about it, like how much more there is to come, because actually Blake Lively has not released anything or really spoken since that initial complaint. Ever since then, all the news has been things Justin and his team was releasing, like his big lawsuit, the lawyer going on Megyn Kelly, the pictures of them in the basement, the voicemail from that night, the website, now this video. Blake actually hasn't like formally rebutted yet. So if that's to come, which I imagine it is, we're really at the very beginning of this.
Which is unfortunate for us, because I do feel like every time there's a big update, we will talk about it just because it's big. But we're really circling the drain here. Yeah.
Although, like, it was a nice window into why being an actor looks like the worst job in the world. Like, seriously, I'd rather shovel shit at the circus.
Yeah.
I'd rather set up chairs on the beach.
We like to talk at the end of the day. There's not enough time in the day for talking.
One of my favorite like icebreaker questions, and I feel like I talk about this all the time, is like asking people, what's the job in the world that you never want to have? And like the classic answers are like shoveling shit at the circus. Mine has always been like being someone who sets up chairs on a beach at a hotel. It's just like so physically laborious and hot. And now I need to add to, like, I really would never want to be an actor. Except I guess the difference is that like all the jobs I listed before, like you're getting paid minimum wage.
Right.
Whereas like you're going through torture to go home with like virtually nothing. Whereas actors, like you're going home with millions to be tortured. And so, you know what?
Would you do
There's
it?
a price. Yeah, maybe it's not the job I'd least likely want to have. That's dramatic. But
you also have
money matters.
You also have to do this acting until you make money, like real big money.
Right. Like think of the actors who do this, you know, for minimum wage.
Yeah.
They must really love the art of acting. And I can't relate to that.
No, me neither.
It's so crazy.
Oh, are you ready for our next story?
Yeah.
Addison Rae is offering fans an update on the state of her friendship with Kourtney Kardashian.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's so funny. I didn't know where that sentence was going. Because at first I thought you were just remarking on the fact that she was on Rolling Stone.
She's on the cover of Rolling Stone. She's talking about a lot of different things, her career and pop, and also Kourtney. So
I thought you were going to say the state of her family relationship, and then you said her relationship with, and I was like, oh, Charlie D'Amelio. And now,
Kourtney Kardashian.
Right, there's so many ways that could have went, but I like the route we're taking.
I think she did speak about Bryce in the interview too, but I was more interested in Kourtney.
That's so funny. I don't even think of Bryce. Like, I don't care.
I don't think of Bryce, but do I look like I think of Bryce?
Kind of.
Do I look? I can't keep those guys apart. I know. I don't even really know that I knew that she dated
You're
one
talking
of them.
about like the Sway boys.
Like Noah Beck is Bryce
Josh.
Hall. And Josh, who's also BFF, so he stands out from the pack.
Yes, and I think Noah Beck stands out because I, like, not to be a freak, like I think he's so cute.
He's adorable. I know he's like 11. And
he's adorable.
Dixie.
They're not together anymore, but yeah. But then there's that whole group of guys like Bryce and Jaden and Faden and Layden, you know?
They lose me at Jaden.
Yeah.
But then I come back at Lil Huddy.
Oh, yeah. Yes, Lil Huddy was a part of the Sway crew as well.
So, lest we not forget, moral of the story, Addison had dated Bryce in the past. So, she was asked about her friendship with Kourtney, and she said, she's an amazing friend of mine, amazing mentor and person. We got very fortunate that it ended up working out, and I'm very thankful for her. She added that they have very similar interests and temperaments. I think both of us are very honest people, and we like a lot of the same things. It started off with both of us just loving to work out. We were doing that together a lot. She's just a very real person. She's been so helpful to me in every way. She's such a good person to lean on. And then also now, you know, she has a new baby. So I do think their friendship has like they're just in different places. But I feel
they
like
burned
Addison,
hot and fast. But like, and now that they're not, doesn't mean that they like dislike each other. But yeah, like Kourtney has like new stepkids and a new baby. Like
no, and I feel like right after this time with Addison was when Kourtney started dating Travis. And so yeah, when you get a new man and they're so wrapped up doing each other, like you don't see your friends as much, especially when like the friend was a newer friend. But I'm glad to know that there's no bad blood, because typically when you're so hot and fast and then you're at zero, it's bad blood. But I do feel like Addison like would still call Kourtney up for advice.
Yeah, I didn't think anything nefarious. I'm glad that there's not. I think of these two as like seriously just going in different directions with their lives. And like Kourtney's very much, I feel like, in a little bit like retirement mode, and Addison's just revving up, you know?
Yeah, but also their boyfriends are like friends, right?
Who's her boyfriend again?
Addison, the drummer.
Omar?
Yeah, Omar.
Yeah. They're like rocker boys.
They're rocker boys. So I wonder at the holiday party, like if they see each other.
And like MGK is there definitely too.
At the rock holiday party.
Yeah, at Rockin' Eve. I love to see Addison on the cover of Rolling Stone. I feel like that's actually extremely major.
Yeah, except the subheadline, like they're a few years too late with it. It looked like something that could have come out seriously in 2021 when she dropped Obsessed. It said, Addison Rae, the queen of TikTok, is coming for pop.
Yeah, no, that's delayed for sure.
That's a dated headline.
But it's so major.
That she's on the cover of Rolling Stone?
For somebody who's trying to like break into music.
It is major for Rolling Stone. I'm happy for them.
It's like kind of cool of Rolling Stone, like to be cool.
I'm happy for them that they landed
It's huge. She looked awesome. She's so pretty. I love her. Like, there's so much that I would ask her, honestly, before I asked her about Kourtney Kardashian.
I think they did ask her a lot of stuff. I'm just saying. Yeah. The queen of TikTok is coming for pop. Like, she's been here. And by the way, these days, she's not the queen of TikTok. The headline
I was going to say that too. And not saying that as like a slight.
No,
like, she's kind of evolved past it.
She literally set the crown down.
She left the throne. She got up and bounced.
She abdicated.
Wallace.
David. Edward.
David and Wallace.
Yeah.
Right. Wallace was the girl who he left for?
The girly.
The girly. Yeah. It's giving Addison Simpson, you know?
Addison Simpson. Yeah. So I felt like this was like a little bit dated, but I'm happy for Addison to be coming into pop. I was ready for her to be a movie star. Didn't get my way. What can you do? You win some, you lose some.
Remember when Kourtney was in that movie?
That movie was amazing. That movie was amazing. It was like, okay. I remember watching it. I think
that's
I watched
your truth.
I think I watched it twice in 24 hours. Like it was so, so good. Like it was so well done for a remake. Addison's big moment. She crushed it. Watch it. Like seriously, I don't know if it ages well, but I remember being so impressed that they pulled that off.
The funny thing about Addison's music career is that she had Obsessed and then she took a ton of time off because like people were clowning on her for it. And then this last year she released 2 songs that like people, they're so critically acclaimed. Like the music industry thinks that they are the most, and to be honest, like I wasn't vibing so much with the new stuff, but you play Obsessed, like, and I'm out on the dance floor pussy popping, like, you say you're obsessed with me, so I took a second. And then she released To Die For.
What is it?
Else to die for, this sex to die for, oh I want someone to die for. And that one like everybody slept on, and so she took a break. She was like, fuck you bitches,
you don't deserve me.
And then she just released these 2 songs that everybody's loving. They're saying
what's
it was like
the other
Summer.
song other than Diet Pepsi?
Aquamarine.
Oh,
that the crazy looking music video of her like in a dungeon. Like no, she was like in an alley.
Yeah, I don't watch that.
No, but people like, and I was happy to see them like gooping and gagging over Addison because that's our girl. But I felt like, I'm like, you guys like this? Wait till you hear Obsessed.
Yeah.
It felt like a little, overhyped in my opinion. But
yeah, but we're sat for what's next.
We are sat for what's next.
Are you ready for our next story, our third story?
I am.
Real Housewives of Salt Lake City's Mary Cosby reveals that Rihanna reached out to her after the emotional scene discussing her son's drug addiction.
This is sort of just like a reality star rite of passage. You've reached true Bravo upper echelon of like the Bravo celebrities. You're different from the others when Rihanna either tags you in a story, references you in an interview, or personally reaches out.
Yes. So during a recent interview with Vulture, Mary Cosby revealed who has reached out to her after the show aired an emotional scene where her son Robert Jr. admitted he was addicted to drugs. In addition to her castmates, she said she even heard from the famous singer turned business mogul Rihanna. She said, I heard from all the cast. I even heard from Britney. Lisa Barlow was the only one that didn't reach out. And that's why I said I feel like she's the kind of person that is a little bit happy when other people are going through something. But everyone else and even other housewives reached out to me. Even Rihanna reached out to me. I was happy I did it after I received the way people accepted it and loved it. She said about Rihanna, she reached out to us when the show aired and told us she loved us. And then on Christmas Day, she said, Merry Christmas and I love you and Robert Jr. Mary says, I feel like if you can reach people of that caliber, you're doing something right. You know what I mean?
No, I'm telling you, like, this feels good because I feel like when Mary Cosby came on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City at the very beginning, she was deeply misunderstood. Now, she wasn't doing herself any favors by like saying some of the craziest things, like being really mean, you smell like hospital. But I think we saw in her like the true magic and potential. And when they fired her, like, it was a choice. And so for her to like now really be seen for the reality star, I think you and I have always known that
We've always known.
We have always known when it was not popular. Classic us. Like I genuinely, like I love this for her. That scene with Robert Jr. was like actually Pulitzer worthy. It was so real. It was so unplanned. Like I'm sure she didn't know the camera crew was coming over and she was going to find out her husband or her son had tried heroin. Like it was so raw. But then also, did you see Robert Jr. Had like a little bit of like an Instagram drama like a couple of days ago?
I did not see.
He posted an Instagram story that was just like a purple background with some text. Calling like the Real Housewives like sluts. Like, let me find exactly what he said.
I'll reserve judgment.
He took to Instagram story. He shared, anyone asking about my sobriety, it's none of your fucking business. Then he posted a picture of his ceiling fans with the words, I love my fans, but there's a thing called personal space. By the way, all these sluts on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City are not people to look up to. Besides my lovely mother, just because they're rich doesn't mean they're good people. Not the sluts. Like,
oh gosh, he didn't get the memo.
I know.
That's just like not a word.
No, that's not what we're doing, RJ.
That's not how we're describing women in mass.
But with like holding space for two truths, like that was really crazy of Robert Jr. I'm just not gonna give him a pass per se, but I'm gonna go easy on him because he has been through a lot, and focus more on the Rihanna of it all here. It's so funny how like Rihanna has really never wavered in her Bravo standum. Like she was obsessed with it. Like before, Bravo definitely reached a peak. Like a couple of years ago, where like maybe a Scandival type year, like where everyone was like, Bravo, 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 oh my God, like I love Bravo. And like before that, like if you were a Bravo fan, like it was just like a hobby we all picked up and it was not like it was mainstream, but it wasn't like huge.
Yeah, but not before Scandival not being the peak though, because I would say, but I understand what you're saying. Yes.
And Rihanna has really been a part of, that's why it was always such a big deal. Like now everyone talks about Bravo, but in the beginning when she was talking about Tom Schwartz and his toothbrush,
yeah,
that was like so niche. Like Vanderpump Rules was a popular show, of course, but it was not a part of the zeitgeist in the way that it is now. And she's really like, stuck around for so many years. Like we don't hear from her for a while and it's like, oh, maybe she's moved on from Bravo. No,
she has not. She literally watches everything.
Yeah.
And
like, I think now, especially when celebrities go on Watch What Happens Live, they're like, yeah, I'm like, I love Bravo. And they have like one show that they like. But there are certain celebrities, like, and Rihanna's one of them, who like from the beginning have watched every single franchise.
Yeah.
And I forget who was telling me this, but like within the certain franchises, they know of celebrities like who maybe we don't know, but I think they were saying that Beyonce, I think I was talking like Phaedra once, loves the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And like for them, like seriously, and Beyonce obviously doesn't like call them up like Rihanna does, but it's the most thrilling, like there's nobody more exciting than it could have been than Beyonce, you know?
Yeah.
So there are a lot of like famous Bravo celebrities, but Rihanna definitely takes the cake.
Yeah, she definitely does. So I thought that was nice. I'm happy for Mary.
I'm happy for Mary too. It's nice to see like everybody propping up Mary. Because they were hard on her for like, and like she did not deserve it, but they didn't see in her the potential.
Yeah. Are you ready for our next story?
What number?
4.
No, I'm not ready.
She's not ready.
Is it the fourth story that's brought to you by Quince?
It is.
With the new year comes new wardrobes and new opportunities to reimagine ourselves. This year, we're looking to refresh our looks with quality pieces, but of course, staying on budget. And now we can, thanks to Quince. So everybody needs Quince's items. Like, first of all, let me tell you about Quince, like what their business philosophy is. Because I know we were like, why should I shop from Quince clothes? I can get clothes anywhere. Quince is different because you're buying like really luxury, high quality pieces, but they're able to keep their items about 50 to 80% less than similar brands. So these high-end brands that are selling like beautiful cashmere sweaters, Quince is going to be selling you the same quality, but for way less. So they partner directly with top factories, and they're cutting out the cost of middlemen, and then they pass the savings on to you. So their really cozy Mongolian cashmere sweaters start at $50. There's amazing workout clothes like athleisure, which can be really pricey. So however you choose to refresh your look this year, all of Quince pieces are going to be priced 50 to 80% less. Plus, they only work with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, so you can feel good knowing your purchase isn't, contributing to toxic fashion industry. And of course, they use premium fabrics and finishes for that luxury feel in every piece. So many of my favorite items in my closet that currently don't fit me but will one day are from Quince. Cardigans, trousers, sweaters. Upgrade your closet this year without the upgraded price tag. Go to quince.com/toast for 365-day returns, plus free shipping on your order. That's QUINCE.com/toast to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/toast. Today's episode is also brought to you by Fora Travel. So Fora is a modern travel agency that empowers anyone to turn their passion for travel into a thriving business, with expert training, innovative technology, and a supportive community. So Fora is for anybody who loves travel, whether you're a parent who plans unforgettable trips for their families, whether you're a professional who curates luxury getaways for your friends, or you're someone who's just always discovering hidden gems and authentic experiences. Fora and their advisors have the freedom to build a business on their own terms. So whether that means creating a flexible schedule, working from home, or scaling your business at your own pace. With Fora, you'll have access to comprehensive training, cutting-edge technology, and industry perks that make it simple to turn your passion for travel into real earnings. So from planning trips to leveraging insider connections, Fora provides everything that you need to start and grow your business. You will also join a thriving community of travel lovers who are ready to share insights, answer your questions, and cheer you on. Through meaningful collaboration and support, you will never feel like you're building your business alone. And for the first time ever, Fora is gifting Toast listeners an exclusive offer. Join today and you'll receive $50 off an annual membership and skip the wait list, because you shouldn't have to wait to start making travel your business. Visit foratravel.com/toast and let us know that you came from the Toast when signing up. That's Fora Travel, Fora travel.com/toast, foratravel.com/TOAST for that exclusive offer. Today's episode is also brought to you by OpenPhone. Running a small business means you're wearing a lot of hats. And you should wear this hat to the party tonight. Your personal phone becomes your business phone, and before you know it, you're juggling customer calls day and night. And as your team grows, it can become impossible to manage with your personal phone number. And that's where OpenPhone comes in. OpenPhone's the #1 customer. I just found this out, Ben. It's perfect for a small business like Spritz. So OpenPhone is the #1 business phone system. They'll help you separate your personal life from your growing business, and for just $15 a month, which is essentially the cost of a few coffees, in this climate, like 2, you get complete transparency and visibility into everything happening with your business phone. OpenPhone works through an app on your phone or your computer, and it integrates with HubSpots and hundreds of other systems. They use AI-powered call transcripts and summaries, so you'll have a summary of your phone call with action items as soon as you hang up. It's like having like a little personal assistant. And if you miss a call, automated messages are sent directly to your customer, meaning that you'll never miss an opportunity to engage with someone. It's affordable and easy to use, so whether you're a one-person operation or you need help managing calls automatically, or you have a large team and you need better tools for efficient collaboration, OpenPhone is a no-brainer. They've won multiple awards by G2 for software reviews, and they are trusted by over 50,000 businesses. Right now, OpenPhone is offering 20% off your first 6 months when you go to openphone.com/toast. That's OPENPHONE.com/toast for 20% off 6 months. Openphone.com/toast. And if you have existing numbers with another service, OpenPhone will port them over at no extra charge. So make sure you go to openphone.com/toast to get that 20% off 6 months.
Thank you, OpenTurt.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure opening for you.
Our next story is little podcast news. A new podcast, actually, that we hadn't even talked about. A celebrity joining the podcast sphere. Kristin Davis launched a podcast.
Oh, you know what? I saw this.
Called Are You a Charlotte? And she's been doing it a couple weeks now, but she shared a story tea-filled, except for that she didn't name the person. She talks about how she was ghosted by
Kristin Davis played Charlotte on Sex and the City, for anyone who doesn't know that.
Yeah.
I think it's Kirsten.
No, it's Kristin. I'm looking at it straight in the face.
She's such a Kirsten.
She's such a Kirsten.
Right?
It's Kristin, though. But I totally agree with you that there's a Kirsten-ness. Kirsten.
Yeah, there's sort of a je ne sais Kirsten.
It's like a Kirsten. But it's Kris. Just want you to know.
It's
according
Kristin.
to what I'm looking at. So it's Kristin. Mm-hmm. So she has a podcast called Are You a Charlotte? Which I think is like kind of a random name, but okay.
Yeah, like, okay, can we just talk about that briefly? because I had thoughts on it too. Because I like the play on. That's a question people get asked. Like, I'm such a Charlotte, or it's not a title.
No,
first of all.
and like unless she's having guests on every week and they evaluate that person's guests' behaviors,
that level of Charlotte-ness.
At the end, she declares whether or not they're a Charlotte. I don't see how this title applies.
Also, is it a Sex and the City recap podcast, or is it Kristin Davis's podcast?
I do think it is Kristin Davis's podcast. And
so it's an even worse name.
And not a recap podcast, but let me just confirm that.
Yeah, like if you just go to the show page, like what's the description?
Yeah, I think I have to go break my phone out 1 second.
No, I got it. I'm on the podcast app. Yeah,
but I don't think it's a recap. Watch, it's a recap.
Is it just a show where they talk about, are you a Charlotte? 1997 actress Kristin Davis' life was changed forever.
It's just a biography about her.
Oh.
The
now she wants to connect with you, the fans, and share untold stories and all the behind the scenes. Together with Kristin and special guests, what will begin with Sex and the City will evolve into talks about themes that are still so relevant today. Are You a Charlotte is much more than rewatching this beloved show. It brings the past and the present together as we talk with heart, humor, and of course optimism. Okay, so it is Sex and the City coded. Like it's a formal, maybe not a rewatch show, but a affiliated podcast.
Yes, I agree. So having a Sex and the City theme title would be fine. But Are You a Charlotte, again, unless they're analyzing the Charlotte-ness of a bunch of different people, like doesn't really make the most sense.
I completely agree. I just want to just come up with a better one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
No, but like they had months, and like we just have these 3 seconds. Like
yeah, right. I get 10 seconds.
Give us some time.
It's so true.
Anyways, back to the story. She revealed that a very successful actor once ghosted her after she lent him $5,000. She described she described him as an out-of-work actor whom she began dating before he became a household name. She said, I think this was before Sex and the City, maybe between Melrose and Sex and the City, or maybe when I was on Melrose. I don't know. She said that while the actor is now very successful and very talented, she spotted bill notices at his home from companies threatening to shut off his electricity at the time that they were dating. And I was like, what's happening? And then I think he wrecked his motorcycle, which is like how he got around to his auditions. So she was like, can I lend you some money? Horrible mistake, she said. She said, lending the actor money changed the dynamic between them in a horrible way. But I just thought, like, I can help. I should help this guy.
Right, of course.
He's so talented, which he is. Lend him money. I think it was all of $5,000, a lot of money. She said the man stopped calling her after her nice gesture, so she popped up at his apartment and started banging on his door. She said his dog was in there, and I loved his dog, and I could hear his dog, but I was like, is he in there pretending that he's not in there? She said the actor called her later on and asked whether she had been banging on the door. And she was like, well, yes. She felt so embarrassed, like being messy. She said, I would just love some acknowledgement or whatever, which is kind of a fantasy. She never disclosed who the actor was. She said he now lives out in the country with some children. Get to work.
Okay, well, can you tell me what year this was?
So between Melrose and Sex and the City.
What year does, I think, like, can you Google what year
Sex and the City started? But
because,
also,
by the way, do you know that she dated John Travolta?
Yeah, but he was already big. He didn't need her money.
Oh, and you know she dated Chris Noth. That's like an underrated. She dated big while the series was on.
Oh, I didn't realize
1998 is when Sex and the City. So let's say a little boyfriend, 1997, you know?
Yeah, but if he wasn't a famous person.
But they would have been spotted together because she was a famous person. So let me just go to her complete dating history, because she also dated. Here are her official boyfriends. Ready? Mm-hmm. This is the 80s. And she dated Liev Schreiber in 2000.
No. Too late.
All of these are late, but she dated interesting people. She dated Alec Baldwin in 2001. Jeff Goldblum in 2002. Damian Lewis in 2003. Rick Fox, I don't know who that is. And do you know who she dated for 3 years in 2012?
Who?
Aaron Sorkin. She's also rumored to have hooked up with Steve Martin. Do you think that could be it? He would never.
No, and he had money.
Oh, he was famous by then.
This is someone who didn't get famous until after 1998. Who now lives in the country with his kids. And the thing is, I feel like she should have told us who it was, because it's just like a funny story.
And it's like, girl, you're trying to make your podcast pop off. Like we spill tea. That's what we do.
That's what you do on the podcast, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Also, like the internet investigators, like, we'll figure this out.
I don't know, might be pre-internet. There might not be a digital footprint of them having been together.
Like not even on a red carpet or anything? I guess not. I really want to know who it is.
Yeah, me too. Like that just would have been like innocuous and whatever, and maybe she would have gotten her money back eventually.
Well, that's the thing. Like it's never too late. There's no expiration date on lending somebody money. Like,
however, it has to be adjusted for inflation plus interest.
Okay, so like what was $5,000 in the 90s? Honestly, like 10.
Yeah, plus interest on like if that was a loan from a bank.
25 years.
Yikes.
20.
Give her the house.
Well, Kristin seems like, you know, she's making money off the story now. So she just wants her initial investment back, the $5K. And look, by the way, if we're really going to go, she also like was helping this guy go to auditions and stuff. So she's kind of like an early investor in his career.
She should get a cut of all.
If he's now worth, you know, millions of dollars, she is owed a percentage.
I agree.
So if you want to get technical about it, you could.
Anyways, funny. Are you ready for our fifth and final story that will lead into a TV recap?
Yes, but I just have a question. Are you a Charlotte? Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are you?
I am such a Miranda. And actually, I won't bore you guys because I say this all the time. And I literally wrote a chapter about it in my book. That's how strongly I feel about it. Growing up, like Miranda was deeply misunderstood. I think like a lot of us judged her by the fact that like she never, you know, wore cool clothes and her hair was terrible the entire series. But like if you watch it now as an adult who like, you know, has aspirations of building businesses and families and paying bills, like you understand like she was such a fucking real one. Mm-hmm. And she saw the world for what it was. Like her and Carrie was like, oh, we're so cynical. Meanwhile, Carrie's so fucking delusional. She was the only one who had like her feet planted in reality. She was the first to like buy her own apartment. She went to Harvard Law. She was like a woman in business. Like we all clown on her. I'm sorry. If I had to recreate the lives of any of them, like, sorry, Charlotte's life is amazing, but it wasn't sustainable. Samantha's was kind of filled with treachery and drama, cancer. And then Carrie was just the fucking worst. So yeah, I'm a Miranda. And I hate that I have to give this speech when I say it because it has connotations. Yeah. And I need Cynthia Nixon to start a podcast. Are you a Miranda?
She should do that. That would be very funny. I haven't watched the new show, so I don't know like if I'm still a Charlotte, but in the old show, Sex and the City, like they're in their 30s. So am I. So like Charlotte in her 30s, like is most akin to me in my 30s.
I also think the new show is like so crazy and it's like, I actually enjoy it, but it doesn't, to me, the four characters and their personalities are set in stone from the OG show and the movies.
Yeah.
I don't think like the new personality traits because Miranda is so different now. Like,
right. Are you a Miranda and just like that?
Honestly, I'm kind of a free spirit, like to be honest, but no. Because like I would never look at someone like Che and be like, oh yeah, I want to spend time with you. Like that's just not me. But they almost like and Carrie too is like so different. She's like normal and smart. It's like that's not Carrie.
Yeah.
So they're undoing a lot of like the character development. So I don't think you can't take anything from the new show when considering like the four personality types.
Because I don't watch. I've seen clips.
Oh, and Samantha's not in it.
Right. Okay. Cool. Maybe I should go on Kristin Davis's podcast and she can assess me for my evaluation. Yeah.
Totally.
Our fifth and final story that will lead into our TV recap. Garcelle was spotted by TMZ doubling down on the lesbian comment that she made to Kyle Richards on the show, saying that it was in no way malicious because
it wasn't.
Last week she asked Kyle, like in a sweet moment at Chuck E. Cheese eating old pizza, she was like, if you want to be a lesbian, be a lesbian. And she said it in like a supportive way.
And it was a supportive environment. It wasn't like a contentious conversation.
And in a way, to me, and I do think like Garcelle can be extremely malicious, in a way that felt actually not malicious at all.
Agreed.
However, Kyle on the Beverly Hills After Show called Garcelle an asshole for that. She did not like that.
Kyle is just on a downward spiral. Like, everything she says is wrong. Like...
So then Garcelle was perplexed by this strong reaction, given they had a good laugh about it during the show. Like, everyone was happy. She said, for her to say that was pretty shady. But, you know...
Yeah, well, these two have like actually a really deep, dark history of never getting along. And I think that sometimes, like especially in the beginning, like Kyle was putting up with Garcelle because she literally had no other friends and she needed to be around Sutton, who was her only ally, and therefore Garcelle like was around. But these two like hate each other. So it's not shocking. And I do want to say, I feel like I'm the first one to call out like Garcelle for being, I made her my weenie of the week like a couple of months ago. Like she's not always right. Like sometimes I feel like there's certain housewives who I trust implicitly. Like they're always right. I don't feel that way about Garcelle, but every now and then she like serves it up. And that was actually, I'm sure like as a viewer, I wanted her to say it, but I'm sure as somebody who's had to experience that whole thing, like we're not even allowed to say Morgan's name now. Like, were you lesbian or not?
And
like,
she was on the show. They were getting tattoos together on the show. It's not like she hadn't been on the show. And I was thinking that last night. I feel like people fall into a pattern where they have their favorite and then they're like, that person's always right. And then they don't, like, in the next situation, they're just like, oh, this person's right because I always think that they're right. They don't actually evaluate, like, the rightness of the situation. And just because someone that you think is, like, right most of the time, like, it doesn't mean that you could just, like, blanket not check in with
that's
what
how
they're
I'm
doing.
like kind of like feeling with last night's episode, like Erica.
Yeah.
She's in this weird place where up until this point, like I've kind of been resting on my laurels. I'm like, yeah, whatever Erica says, I agree with.
Yeah.
But then like and I understand like when everybody's ganging out, and she doesn't have beef with Kyle. She probably leans more towards Dorit in this argument, but she doesn't have beef with Kyle. So when you see someone who you like are friends with, like having a breakdown, her running after her and telling her like you didn't do anything wrong, sure, okay, whatever. Like I can understand how that's you actually being a good friend. But in her confessionals, and she's sort of like not backing down on this whole Mauricio text thing about, and like Kyle did do something wrong. Like that's just sort of a fact. And Dorit says Erica's taking Kyle's side because she's afraid of Kyle. And I've actually never seen, and I know that dynamic. Like when Kyle's an OG, there have definitely been women who are like weenies and they don't speak up to their friends because they have power in the circle of production. Mm-hmm. I've never thought that about Erica, and I don't think that about Erica.
I've never thought that about Erica. I'm going to look out for it now, and maybe there's more that we will uncover. But that's not what I thought was happening. I feel like Erica just really wants to give everyone the benefit of the doubt because of how she was treated, which she's bigger than me because I'd be like,
I'm coming for everyone.
You should all have a taste.
An eye for an eye.
It's actually so crazy that she's able to be that big and now not want to see anyone else.
That's how healed she is.
That's what healed people do. So I think that's more where she's coming from, like someone storming out. And also Kyle, though I disagree with her on all accounts, and I'm with Dorit, one, because like Dorit's my girl, but also because I'm also
factually,
checking internally, oh, how do I feel about Dorit doing this or that? And I'm with her. Kyle's going through a hard time too. And like a lot of different crises. So it's not like she's just like this big bad person who's like picking on the weakest one. Like she's also of the weak ones because she's going through a hard time in her personal life and also just in herself. So I am inclined not to like rush to judgment, but something weird is going on. And it's also making it hard as a viewer because I feel like there's a lot of things we don't know. Even Dorit saying last night, like, well, you do talk about PK
conversations.
To me. Like that's just something that we didn't know even last episode when Dorit keeps saying it's not just memes and jokes, it's not just memes and jokes. It's like, well, why do you think, even though it's not, why do you think that so strongly? What do you know?
Yeah. Now, a couple of things. When Kyle was reading the text, she's like, I'm going to do it one last time. And she like, when she gets to like the problematic lines, she like kind of slows down. I think it was the first time ever she saw herself like from the outside a little bit because it wasn't the way you would read something that's like totally innocent. Now,
you don't think she slowed, in her defense, you don't think she slowed down because she in herself knew it was about production and she's saying it in front of them? Like, and she's outing herself as having kept things from production if you believe what she said.
Okay, but just sure, she's keeping things from production, but like, why do her and PK like have secrets? Like,
from production.
Like, what the hell are they talking about?
I don't
like,
know.
They need to be a little bit more clear.
I agree.
I hate when we get into like this murky Housewives territory where like you can't say the thing. It's like, what is it?
Yeah.
Now, the second thing, and like kind of the most glaring from last night's episode, was like Kyle's breakdown, which I understand that she's like really going through a hard time, and it's hard when like people just call you out like so outright. Like, I love that about Beauvais, but it was such amateur housewife behavior. Like that was not the behavior of somebody who's been on a show for 15 years. But that's sort of the Kyle Richards way. Like she's never really been at the center of things, and that was Lisa Vanderpump's like one of her gripes with her. But like she orchestrates a lot, and she is a passerby, but like. Not since season 1 Limo has she really been in the center of things. So just to see her have such a breakdown when the conversation was not contentious.
Yeah.
It was just brought up.
And Dorit was like being very open and she wasn't bringing that energy from the Viper room of like slaying dragons. Like she just wanted to hear, and she was in a place of just like having, even the fact that she was the one who went outside and calmed Kyle down is just like so crazy. Mature. When she's the one who's been wronged.
I loved how before, and Beauvais set up such a party afternoon. Like that was seriously just a great way to spend the day. Oh my God. And Jennifer Tilly, what did she say that made me laugh so hard? Hold on. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Maybe.
Okay, whatever. She said something so funny. I was cracking up. Whatever. What was I going to say?
Beauvais' party afternoon.
Beauvais' party afternoon. Before the blow up, Dorit just sort of shuffled on over to Garcelle. And they had like that kind of nice moment. Like I know they can't. Like they seriously are just two opposite sides of a coin. I would love for them to see eye to eye and just like be cool with one another. Like I actually think they would get along.
I don't know if they would get along is the thing. Like I think they could actually be cool with one another, but I think the moment that they start like hanging out one-on-one, like Garcelle just doesn't like Dorit's personality and doesn't know how to say that to her in a way that's just not hurtful, because that's just a hurtful thing to say. Like she doesn't want to talk to Dorit. Dorit talks too much. Like I think them just having respect for one another but not interfacing too much is like the best way for it to go.
I remember the Jennifer Tilly thing. Like she could not pronounce memes. Oh. In the back of the car. Oh my God, I was cracking up so hard. That was like the first time I was like, you know what, Jennifer Tilly, you could stay.
LOL.
Sit down. So while it was kind of a slow episode in the sense that like nothing really like happened, and I feel like they've been teasing this walk off in Beauvais' backyard since the beginning, and I'm like, this was it. And like it wasn't unimportant, but like, is that like the kind of like the peak of the season?
Yeah,
they keep teasing it.
And where do we go from here in terms of like what's there left to dig up? Like, is there more to this story? Because Dorit, and then they had their facials, and Dorit like really thinks that there's more. Yeah. And I just like, I don't know. Maybe there is, but I can't conceive how that's possible. And also Kyle keeps saying like, I'm a girl's girl, I'll always have your back. But like here she is like telling PK like I would never repeat the things that you said. And she also says in her confessionals like, yeah, why wouldn't I take PK like when Dorit treats me like this? Like it's very.
No, Kyle is not a girl's girl. Like for your friend to tell you that like her husband like behind closed doors was a monster and like screaming
oh my God, that was
crazy. And you say, oh, I can't picture it. Both to her face and in your confessional, like. Girl,
that was so crazy in her confessional, and then she was like, but I've seen it in Dorit. Excuse?
No, and it's like,
and also her saying, I'm so glad you brought that up. I've literally forgotten this part of the episode. Her saying that she always thought Dorit wore the pants in their relationship. What? PK, like I feel like it's PK's show. It's PK's money. It's PK's house. It's PK's life that Dorit has kind of like walked into and made her own. Like PK calls the shots.
Yeah, no, and it's like no matter what you think, we all know, and this is what happens like when a marriage implodes, is like you really see what was going on. So most of the time, unless someone's marriage is perfect and they're open and honest with you all the time, most of the time, it's not until somebody gets divorced that you really realize what was going on behind closed doors. Erica Jane. So like, have you never met anyone divorced, Kyle? Like, yeah, you thought one thing, but it was the other. Like, that's always what happens.
Right.
It was just also like such a mean thing to say. Like, oh, really? Like you were verbally abused by your husband? I can't picture it.
I can't picture it.
That's so
but
fucking
I just
crazy.
want to say, like, I actually like PK on the show. I think he's really funny and he has a lot of personality. But I could see it.
Yeah, especially
I don't even know him. I could see it.
Especially like they weren't like spelling it out for us, but there have been a couple of things, especially like the DUI, and then when he like crashed into a tree and then like drove home or whatever, and then them slowly like opening up to us that he is an alcoholic, like. People, like, when they're not themselves, like, they do and say crazy things. So, yeah, I actually can picture it.
No, and also, like, they did therapy on the show last season, and he's telling her that she needs to move on from the robbery quicker. Like, it's not like he's been, like, overtly kind, because that's never been his way.
Yeah.
He's been honest, very honest on the show, but you could also see how behind the scenes, when you can even be more honest, that, like, things could be a little bit darker. Yeah. I actually don't think it's that crazy to picture.
No, and these are people we don't know. These are, like, Hollywood marriages. Like, yeah. Like definitely crazy shit goes on. So Kyle, like you've lived in this town your whole life. You work too hard for the zip code to go. You don't know that like this is what happens in like crazy marriages. Like it seriously, it was conceivable to me, and I'm just a viewer.
Right.
She was just being a bitch, honestly. I could see Dorit doing that. Oh,
she was. I didn't watch. Who was on Watch What Happens Live last night?
It was the Real Houses of New York finale, so I think somebody from Real Houses of New York, and I'm not sure.
Because usually, like after the episode, I'll watch What Happens Live, and then you get like fan votes, and so I can see like how people are feeling. But I watched it so late last night, I just went to sleep. So like, are people all shook up about that? Because that was really crazy.
My favorite thing when I'm done with an episode is to go to Twitter, just because like I love to see what people are saying. And yeah, people were gooped and gagged. That's like so because it's such a crazy thing to say while also telling everyone every other minute that you're a girl's girl.
Right. Not.
Girls just ride for their friends, like.
And then at the end of the episode, Sutton Strack has decided to enter
to throw her hat in the ring.
That was so crazy. Like she's so mad that Kyle stormed off. I'm not going to bow. Like now she's taking on Kyle. Like what?
No, but she was also like, she's not letting Kyle rest. Like when the conversation started last night about the text messages, she literally got up and sat down and was like, what are we talking about? Oh yeah, you said more than that. Like and then also when they were playing tennis, what do you mean? Mo cheated on you? Like she's like not, and she's really Kyle's like only friend, but she's not even her friend. Like she's not ever helping her.
She's not a good friend. At the beginning of this season, she apologized to Kyle for being so hard on her last season and demanding answers. And now she's like doing that again. And I do think a lot of it is like show stuff. Like she doesn't want to get left out of the storyline of the show. But I also think she's a bit shrewder than that. And she really is pissed that like she didn't get to walk out of the Chippendales, but Kyle gets to walk out of Spa Day.
Yeah.
Like, okay, sure.
It was actually such a blown out of proportion, like dramatic walk off. It made her look like really silly, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, and
then she gets in the car, and the thing that she says is like, I just can't believe Dorita's like trying to make this a thing to distract from like what she did to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, what did she do to you?
Right. And she said of her being a bad friend.
Oh yeah. That's her big crime.
That's the thing. That's the big thing.
Like, it's not a big conspiracy. Like she's unable to see herself as the villain here. And I think like if you're not able to like really criticize or just like take a look at yourself and like see what takes two people to tango.
Yeah.
This is like a fruitless endeavor.
No, that was so crazy. Dorit did not muster up or conjure up this situation. It was actually the other women. And it could have so easily turned out to be like memes and jokes and a whole nothing burger. And then it wasn't. And when your friend is getting divorced, like you don't really need to be asked to stop
not talk to her husband.
Talking with the husband.
And even when shit's like going well, like in an amicable divorce, such as Kyle and Mauricio, Dorit's not texting Mauricio, like it's still inappropriate. But when things have been so bad and she's saying like, you know, we're co-parenting badly, like that's even worse. Like it's like, Kyle, are you new to this planet, let alone this town? Like,
yeah. Wife swap.
Yeah, that's how it's time for Dorit and Mauricio to get together.
Every recap of ours of Beverly Hills ends.
It's true, by the way. It's true. Like Kyle is like actually pushing them closer together. But the thing is that Kyle and Mauricio's divorce is up until, as far as we know, like it's pretty amicable. Like he would never do that. He goes in with his Dancing with the Stars, sure, but these aren't Kyle's friends. Like, and he's allowed to move on.
Yeah, but then they're divorcing, and he was in the ocean with that lady in like Mykonos. I'm waiting for like those Mykonos pictures to drop on the show. I guess.
But by the way, like Kyle's had a girlfriend for a year. Like, what are we talking about?
I don't know.
She literally had a relationship.
I don't know. It's confusing.
Yeah. So that is the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills recap. Tomorrow is my last Thursday in this. Do you
think it'll be a Thursday?
Depending on if the air conditioning heat system is working, like we'll see.
It might be a Thursday. I do love a Thursday.
Thank you guys so much for listening to The Toast, the Millennial Morning Show, where we deliver the past 5 stories you need to know every Monday through Friday on YouTube. So you're watching us on YouTube, please don't forget to subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. We're also available as podcasts and where podcasts we found. So it's Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Public Radio, iRadio, Castbox, all the places. If you podcast, find us The Toast, 5-star review about how beautiful, stunning, and wickedly talented we are.
Heart, love ya.
Okay, hold on.
I'm watching you. Okay, love ya. Bye.